Namaste Starlights. Welcome back to another video. Once again, I am Kamala and I am a human. I am a licensed professional counselor and I am a certified spiritual coach. So the intention that I want to set for this video is once again one of rest. That has been the theme that I've been setting for 2025. We are resting this year. You deserve to rest this year. And we are only manifesting things in our life that come to us with ease. And we are not attracting anything in our life that is not meant for us. So I wanted to touch base more on that today, specifically as it pertains to relationships. Romantic, platonic, or otherwise. So what do I mean by resting in our relationships? So what do I mean by having restful relationships? Relationships, as we know, aren't easy, right? It is literally a combination of our energy, our traumas, our past, what we bring to the table, and another person's or multiple people. And with that, things don't necessarily mesh 100% of the time. However, that is true and it shouldn't have to feel forceful. Relationships, once again, they're meant to add fulfillment to our lives. They're meant to make us feel good about ourselves and build ourselves up, and meant to just give us a sense of being seen, right? Oftentimes what happens is that we as people, right, and once again, kind of being in our egos and once again, our past history, our traumas, we can end up operating from a fear of abandonment or just kind of being stuck in that like mindset of scarcity. And so we force relationships into our lives that aren't meant to be. And it's tough. It's a tough thing, right? Because the fear of losing people is a valid fear. It's a valid one. And, right, we have to remind ourselves that we are literally, like, we ourselves as energy, we are literally pure love, right? We are pure love. Other people are pure love. When you strip away our egos and everything else, like class, status, how we dress, our physical bodies, we are literally just pure love. That is the energy we are at the end of the day. So in reality, we are not in any scarcity of love, right? There's plenty of love to go around, and yet we get stuck in our ego that tells us otherwise. Our ego says, nope, there is not enough love. So you need to take it where you can, right? You need to not lose this person, because who else is gonna replace them? Who else is gonna fill that void, right? Which is a lie. There is, once again, enough love to go around because you are love, Starlight. And, even using me as an example, I've operated off of an abandonment mindset for like a while, right? Where I've been afraid to lose people in my own life because I just got scared. And recognizing that the more we operate on that vibration of the fear of loss, the more we're going to attract that. So we can sometimes end up in relationships that aren't fulfilling our needs, that aren't giving us what we want. We can end up in toxic and unhealthy relationships. And so what I ask for you to kind of examine, what is the mindset that you have going into these relationships? Are you operating off of a mindset that I am enough, I am love, I am positive energy, and all I have is love to give and to receive that love? Or are you operating off of, I want to have this person, I want to keep this person in my life, I want to feel good enough with this person? If you're operating off of the latter, that could explain why you keep attracting relationships in your life that aren't fulfilling to you and that aren't restful. And it's not anyone's fault, right? Like, it's not your fault that you end up in these relationships. However, at the same time, it's important to be mindful of your mindset, right? Because you could be unintentionally attracting these relationships to you that aren't fulfilling. And by the end of it, you keep asking yourself, why do I end up in this cycle? Why am I attracting the same people who don't treat me right, who make me feel bad about myself? Why do I keep ending up being heartbroken? Because you're in a scarcity mindset, Starlight. Because, Starlight, you don't think there's enough love to go around, and you don't believe you are love. And once again, you're operating off of that fear. And when you're on that vibration, like attracts like. And so shifting that mindset to one that is not attached to the ego, to one that is of, once again, love and understanding that you deserve love, you deserve better, you deserve relationships that are going to pour into your cup and not deplete it, right? And once again, it's difficult. A lot of us have an abandonment wound. I can include myself in there, right? Where losing people, the thought of losing people is really scary. It's terrifying. However, as long as we continue to operate from that mindset, the more we are going to attract relationships and people into our lives that are going to challenge that mindset, right? Meaning that we're going to have people and continue to attract people that make us feel abandoned, as long as we're operating from that mindset of, I'm going to be abandoned. We put out the energy that we receive, even if it's unintentional, even if we don't need to. So as long as you're operating off of the I'm not enough, off of the I'm going to be abandoned, off of the I can't lose this person, you are going to attract those relationships where you end up feeling tired by the end. And that's not fair to you. That's not fair to any of us. So the biggest thing to remember, Starlight, is that, once again, you are love. When we operate from our ego, we forget that, right? We forget that, and what happens is that we fall under the mindset of attachment. So attachment is another big one that is hard to deal with. And I think attachment is so purely human, right? In that we all feel that way. We all get attached to the people that we love and care about. But at the same time, there has to be recognition of letting go when necessary, right? Like, if you've ever heard of holding sand in the palm of your hands, right? And if you try and cling onto the sand's gonna kind of go through your fingers, right? But if you calmly and if you gently just cup the sand stays. The more we try and hold on to something, the more painful it is when we lose it. And this doesn't mean, once again, that we can't love, and that doesn't mean that we can't feel attached to people we care about. But we have to be mindful in that The only thing we can control in any situation is ourselves. So if you're in a long-term relationship with someone, once again, whether it's romantic or platonic, and that relationship ends, we feel hurt because we were attached to that person. And once again, that doesn't mean we can't attach to them, but we have to recognize at some point that attachment is going to involve suffering. If you're familiar with Buddhism, that is literally one of the things that is discussed, is that suffering is caused by attachment. I think it's silly to completely say that you can't just attach ever. I think that's a tall order, but I think it is prevalent, and it does need to be something that's on the forefront when it comes to relationships. Being aware that even without this relationship, even without this person, that you will be okay. That you will be okay. And once again, at the end of the day, all you can control is yourself. So, in 2025, we are attracting relationships that give us fulfillment, and that give us abundance, and that make us feel good about ourselves. Step one is to operate off of the vibrations that we are love, and that there is enough love in the world to go around. And maybe you're in a period right now where you want a romantic relationship and you're feeling like not enough because you can't attract one, or you feel like you can't attract one, or maybe you had the relationship just end, and once again feeling like you're not enough, but you are. Starlight, you are pure love, and so you are going to attract those relationships as long as you can remind yourself of that and operate from that mindset. Step two, don't force a square into a circle. Don't make something try and fit if it's not meant to fit, right? Don't deplete your energy in order to keep a relationship. Never sacrifice yourself for a relationship, because in the right relationships you won't have to. And step three, attachment, which is understanding and recognizing that with our ego we are going to attach, but on the flip side, understanding that at times we may have to let go, and that's okay. That's okay. We are attracting ease and rest and peace in 2025. We are going to operate more in the vibrational pool of love, and we are going to manifest the relationships in our life that are meant to be. But in order to do that, you have to believe you're deserving of it, because you are deserving of it. All of that stuff that says we're not is just the ego in the way. So, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And acceptance is hard, but I think necessary in order to get to the place we need to be in life. So, we're starting here, Starlights. We are starting with putting love and energy into ourselves. We're going to operate off positive vibrations this year. And, understanding that we attract what we put out. If you're putting out energy of not being enough, of deserving bad relationships, you're going to get bad relationships, right? It's when we put out that we are deserving, that we are loved, that we get that love back. And it takes time, and it's not easy. And especially if you have a trauma history like I do, like I've disclosed, it's hard to it's hard to get your mind in a place of telling yourself you are deserving of love. But you are. Romantic, platonic, or otherwise. You're deserving of love. But it starts with within. So, as always, Starlights, thank you for joining me for another video. And I will see you in the next one. And as always, Namaste.